Good morning, everybody. My name is John Waits, and I currently serve as a lay leader for Bellwether Church. And what lay leader is I serve as a leader of the church, not clergy, and involved in decisions that are made by the church regarding finance and staff and things of that nature. But what I want to talk to you about, and what John Hugh asked me to talk about, is investing in the church and what led me to be a lay leader of the church. Years ago, Lee and I were kind of jumping around from church to church, and we both grew up in the church and were Christians, but we had really made no effort to invest in a church, and I knew something was missing, and we knew there was more out there. So when we came to Bellwether, I made a decision that we were going to get involved, and I just felt it was my role as the spiritual leader of the family to do that. And I'll be honest with you, it really was not in my personality to go out and meet people. I was very comfortable in just doing the Sunday morning worship thing and leaving it at that. But when I came to Bellwether, a good friend of mine, Robbie Aldridge, just signed me up for setup team. And I remember getting a call from John Hugh, and he said, "Hey man, I see that you signed up to be on setup." And I said, "Well, actually no, Robbie signed me up." But it worked out well. It got me to meet a lot of people, people that were just faces in the crowd on Sunday morning. I started to know their names and building relationships, because that's what the church is. When you're investing in the church, you're investing in relationships. And setup led to being invited to be in a small group. I think Ted Duckworth may have been the first one to invite me to their small group, and Dobby, of course, followed that up. And it was amazing to me how quickly I became attached to the people, and you just meet real people that are experiencing the same problems that you're experiencing, that are going through the same trials in life, and before you know it, you just start building these relationships, very important relationships of people that'll be there for you in hard times and in good times. Then John Hugh asked me to be part of the group called Radical Raise, and it was just a really in-depth study of the Bible and meeting even more people, investing time in that group, and you know, also in that group we took a test, and we learned that everybody has different spiritual gifts. You may not know it, but everybody does. And strangely enough, one of mine was service, and so I looked at every opportunity to serve the church and to do what I could. And I remember reading a passage of scripture that talks about the church is made, just like the body has several different parts, you all perform different functions, so does the church. It takes everybody investing in the church to really make it productive. And as part of Radical, we made a commitment to go on a mission trip, and I made that pledge to go, even though I never really considered myself as somebody that would go on a mission trip. I would leave that to the clergy and others, to be honest with you, and would make every excuse. There was enough problems here that, you know, why do we need to go halfway across the world? And then I remember reading, I think it was in the book of Matthew, where Jesus is very clear that we are all called to go out and make disciples of all nations. And I also recall at the same time reading the book Radical with that David Platt wrote, and there was a very, very interesting quote in that book that I'd like to read. It says, "One of the unintended consequences of contemporary church strategies that revolve around performances, places, programs, and professionals is that somewhere along the way people get left out of the picture. But according to Jesus, people are God's method for winning the world to himself. People who have been radically transformed by Jesus. People who are not sidelined to sit in a chair on Sundays while they watch professionals take care of ministry for them. People who are equipped on Sundays to participate in ministry every day of the week. people who are fit and free to do precisely what Jesus did and what Jesus told us to do, make disciples. By going to Honduras and spreading the word there, I got to experience a very special moment with my wife. We had worked at for a family, building them a house, and one of the young girls there, Lee really bonded with, and at the end of the trip, she accepted Christ, and I've got a great photograph of Lee standing there wiping tears from Cindy's face as she accepts Christ. And I would not have gotten to that point had I not taken that initial step to be part of setup. The church will meet you 90% of the way, but if you take that extra step to get involved and become active in the church, you will not believe the rewards and benefits that you will get from that.